welcome to our 13th annual Capital City Senior Games. Thank y'all. It is such a delight to see all of your fabulous faces, and I still hear the chatter. So if we can please quiet down and we will get our program started. Thanks for bearing with us this evening as folks found their way in. Yes, we are starting a few moments behind, but we just wanted to give everybody a chance to get here because I did notice Ryan just made it in the door. Thank you, Ryan. So with that, we are grateful for this beautiful indoor space, the city's new park view. Isn't it beautiful? We are very grateful for this. I mean, we already figured we had everybody heading toward Cascades Park. Why not just come on upstairs? So thank y'all for bearing with us, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity from the Cascades team. Their staff has been fabulous to work with, so thank you so very much. I'm Christy Carter, and it's my pleasure of co-hosting this special time to celebrate each and every one of you, our athletes. This year, I had the opportunity to come off the cheering bench and to participate as an athlete. So I'm glad to be a part of this with each and every one of you. I've had the privilege of working alongside Nick Gandy, Senior Games Extraordinaire. Nick has, yes, give him a round, please. Nick has been around Senior Games both locally and all over the state for 23 years. He knows many athletes and their stories. Today, we want to celebrate our athletes who competed in the games and thank our many partners and volunteers who made the games possible. Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Capital Health Plan, Miss Tony Kilgore, who was here this evening. Thank you, Tony. And Mr. Tom Glennon. They have been our faithful partner in the games for over 13 years. And together, we have watched this great event grow and grow. So thank y'all for your continued support. And thanks to our host, the City of Tallahassee, Parks, Recreation, and Neighborhood Affairs Department, and the Senior Center. Yes, Senior Center and Parks and Rec, thank you. This year was a great year for the Senior Games to transition back to normal. Our athletes were really glad to be back and out again and amongst their friends and fellow athletes doing things they love to do, hence all the fabulous chatter here tonight. We also want to thank our primary host and sponsor, the City of Tallahassee. Thank you to our mayor, city commissioners for always supporting Senior Games and our 50-plus population here in Tallahassee. Yes. Thank you to Miss Ashley Edwards, our Director of Parks, Recreation, and Neighborhood Affairs. She's been a great cheerleader of the games through the 13 years. And we're grateful for her support making the games happen. Thanks to our co-sponsor, Audiology Associates, who both sponsor and volunteer at the Senior Games. We always see them at the end timing in the swimming, so maybe look out for them tomorrow night for sure. To our athletes, just to be a part of the games is an accomplishment. So thank you to each and every one of you for playing in the games. And hopefully we can inspire a few other folks who might be guests, be it loved ones or even some family members tonight. So now Nick is going to tell us about some of the accomplishments this year in the games. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you, Christy, and thank you all for joining us tonight here at the City View at Cascades Park. The 13th annual Capital City Senior Games was not an unlucky number. So we bucked that superstition right away. The 2022 Capital City Senior Games featured 506 registered athletes. And I always tell Sheila and Cindy, I work on the statewide level with a lot of the local senior games, and that's right about in the upper echelon of the local senior games participation level. You'd be surprised at some of the what you might consider to be larger metropolitan areas of the state of Florida to have less than the 500 that competed in this year's Capital City Senior Games. Those 506 athletes competed in 1,163 events. And I think Ryan Burke made up about 10% of that 1,163 events. He did not meet this criteria of one of the 5 athletes in the 90 to 94 age group. I have a feeling he'll still be around when he reaches that age group. 93-year-old Fanny Baker. She was in horseshoes. She was in horseshoes, she was in bag toss and bowling singles. Is Ms. Baker here with us?
No, she's not here tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Richard McAvoy, 92 years old, played golf along with 92-year-old Wayne Hodges. We've got even more about him later. 91-year-old Everett Scarborough was in table tennis singles, and Jane Bacon, 91 years old, was in bowling singles and mixed doubles. We were not pleased to see Mr. Don Rapp this year, 93 years old, at the track and field meet. He had some health issues, but he was one of our torchbearers here at Cascades Park a couple weeks ago. Our youngest athlete was the lady that was up here on the microphone right before me. And I mentioned to Christy before we got started tonight, she and I have been working with not only the Capital City Senior Games, but the Florida Senior Games long enough that we have advanced into competition age. And one of my favorite stories is I started working with the Florida Senior Games when I was in my 30s. And I've had this gray hair ever since I was in my 30s. And I would be talking to the athletes, and they would ask me, well, what sport are you in? And I would always have to say, well, I'm not old enough yet. I felt like that kid brother that could never play with his older siblings. And once I hit 50, I had to start. I'm the communications director for the Florida Senior Games, and once I hit 50, I had to stop talking the talk and start walking the walk. So I am a Capital City Senior Games bowler, and I try a little bit of every other sport every year, and I played golf this year, and we'll just leave it at that. But some highlights from the March 2nd through now extended through the 18th Capital City Senior Games due to some weather issues. At the bowling alley, the highest overall singles score went to Louise Capps with a 3-game total of 572. Divide that by 3, and that's just about a 200 a game. A lot of us can't do that, but Louise Capps can. On what I'm going to say was a bad day, Doug Covert had a 555 for the highest men's score. I've bowled with Doug before, and I don't know. He must have had something going on. Maybe him and Lisa had a little tiff before the before the bowling. But a 555 for Doug is he does a lot better than that. And he's going to be going to the National Senior Games in May in Fort Lauderdale, representing Tallahassee in the Capital City Senior Games. At Heileman Golf Course, the overall low was shot by Scott Benson in the 60 to 64 age group with a 73, which I saw up here earlier was a record for the 60 to 64 age group. Our 90-year-old golfer, Wayne Hodges, came in 3 strokes below his age with an 89, and he set an age group record in the 90 to 94 age group. Nola Talbert had an 87 for the best women's score, and I don't know what we got to do, Cindy. You played golf, but there were only 8 women's golfers out there, and there were at least 80 golfers out there.
But Miss Becky said 1 golfer.
What?
101 golfers.
101 golfers, and there are only 8 women. So if any of you folks know any women golfers, I know one.
Becky is here. She got to go.
And so we got to get more women out there on the golf course. Now we're going to talk about some weight. The power lifters at Premier Health and Fitness. The top bench press was Mr. Greg Chester with 295 pounds in the 60 to 64 age group. That's me and about 50 more pounds. The top deadlift was 455 pounds by Stephen Hopkins. And the top women's lifter was Stephen's wife, Kim, who had a 110-pound bench press and a 215-pound deadlift. The Hopkins compete in the Florida Senior Games, and they came over from the Pensacola area to play in the Capital City Senior Games. So, believe it or not, we're catching on.
Are there some power lifters here?
Like a Mr. Tim Lee?
There's some power lifters here.
Show me your bicep.
Tim Lee set a new record.
At the track and field, the game's fastest man in 2022 was Mr. Marty Parnell, who ran the 100-meter dash in 13.73 seconds. And then he ran the 200-meter in 29.52 seconds. That's pretty good. He won the 60 to 64 age group gold medals, but believe it or not, that was not a record. I didn't see what the record was. Now, the fastest women are here with us tonight, Betsy Lieberman, and she's listed in the results as Edith Barefoot, but we all know her as Ebo. Everyone knows Ebo. But what made their finish very special was there was a photo on the Tallahassee Senior Center Facebook page, which had some great photos. We've seen them here as we've been going on. They finished hand in hand, crossed the finish line at the same time. Now, Ebo will tell you it's a show of sportsmanship that they agreed upon it before the race. But Betsy has another side to the story, that she was reaching back to pull Ebo across the finish line. I don't know which one's true, but either one's believable. Rodney Atherton, I don't know if you guys know him. He's a real tall, thin man. He had the longest throw of the day when he threw a discus 38.65 meters. Now, most of us don't know what that means, but that's 126 feet. And he's also got a little bit of spring in his step because he had the best long jump, high jump, and triple jump to win gold medals in the 65 to 69 age group, and he's going to be doing all of that at the National Senior Games in May in Fort Lauderdale. You might when I first saw him, I remembered him as that guy that used to ride the Segway around downtown. And I said, "You're the guy that rides the Segway around the Capitol all the time." He goes, "Yeah, I'm the Segway guy." We had a lot of people that competed in a lot of events, and like I said, I do bowling every year, and I try one or two extras. But I did not go to the links that Ryan Burke did in 22 events. I think he just came in from one of the pickleball matches. That's why he was late. Robert Mcvetty, who was with us at the Torch Run, he did 16 events, and I think I saw him at every one of his events. Ebo, 15 events. She's a regular out at the Tom Brown Park pickleball courts, among other places. And Michael Bell was in 12 events. Now we're going to hear from a few of the athletes that were here, some information about some of the other athletes and where they came from, and some interesting facts about them. And Chrissy's going to tell you all about it.
Thank you, Nick. All right, y'all. Athletes came from all over, 10 different states. We got Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, California, Indiana, Kentucky, Virginia, Michigan, Mississippi, and throughout Florida to compete in the Capital City Senior Games. So there's no excuse. Family can come and visit during this time. Know that everybody is welcome. I know some folks did have some family come in, and that's how they were able to have their partner. So definitely the opportunity to compete is across the states for sure. I think that's the most states we've ever had. So wow, thank you for representing for sure. People are ready to travel. If you are from somewhere other than the Big Bend region, thank you. Thank you for coming to Tallahassee. We hope you enjoyed the competition and the camaraderie with the other athletes as well. This year we hosted 15 different sports. Yes, we still have one more to go tomorrow night, and tennis will be represented on Friday. At 12 different venues, we were able to add an additional venue this year. Walker Ford was able to host at the last minute so we could have the women's pickleball. So we are grateful for their ability to be able to step in and have us over there. So thank you for that. And also, yes, we are very grateful. The pickleball team did a great job. Yes, the weather was not in our favor, and so we were able to move indoors, and the community centers just welcomed us with open arms, and that includes also Jack McLean, who also hosted the men's, and then the next day the doubles. So thank you so very much. And also, the amazing volunteers. We can't do it without you. I know there's several here tonight. Thank you so very much for all that you have done. All right, it's y'all's chance. When your sport is called, please stand up and let us know in what sport you competed. Let's see what sport has the most participation here at the Celebration of Athletes.
Ryan, just stand up and stay standing.
The will be available at all the different athletes and sports will also be recognized on our talgov.com website. You are also able to review the photos, so talking about the photos on our Tallahassee Senior Center Facebook page. And we'll be sending out a link to our constant contact also for many of those different opportunities. All right, so let's talk about some of these games. The games started with golf at the beautiful Lieberman Golf Course. Let us know if you are here. I know our friends Becky and Greg are here this evening. Ryan, Cindy, yes. Thank y'all for coming out, and what a record-breaking with 101 athletes competing in golf. So maybe changing that day did work in our favor. All right, then we did bowling singles one Friday and bowling doubles on the next Friday at Capitol Lanes. Let's see the bowlers. Fantastic. And, all right, we also had track and field events. Were held one Saturday at Gubby High School. Tell us if you're watching and what event. Yes. Yes, lots of track and field there. We also played horseshoes at Forest Meadows on Sunday. Yes, Ryan is still standing. Yes, Phyllis, the Yarbrough, and Dominic, and yes, for sure. We also had bag toss over at Jake Gaither. Where's our bag toss, folks? Woo! Now that was surely a rowdy bunch, but I see Mr. Lennon has come in this evening. Thank you, Lennon. Let's give Lennon a round of applause, who runs our pickleball. Glad to have you tonight, Lennon. We appreciate your support and the amazing job you did with the athletes and the games over 3 days. As I already mentioned, we were able to move inside at the last minute. Let's see our pickleball players. Fantastic. I don't know. Was it bag toss or pickleballs in it right now? We'll have to keep that going for sure and see how it wraps up here. We got some power lifters over at Premier. Where are our power lifters this evening? Yes, fantastic. And I see some new athletes that did join us in that, so tell your peers, more is welcomed for sure. Racquetball will be added back next year. The weather just didn't work with us, but we also had archery this year. Any of the archers here today? Ryan wasn't able to compete in that one also, but We are grateful for all the archery folks who did come out on that cool Saturday morning with a little dampness. So thank you to all the archery folks who competed. All right, basketball shooting also had some records Saturday morning. Sue McCullum Community Center. Let's hear it. Heard there was some great competition out there, and as we already saw, there was definitely some records broke this year. So good job, basketball folks. And now you still got time to be training for what's to come for sure. If you competed in table tennis, Saturday over at Jack McLean, let's hear it from you. All right, great representation for sure. Sunday, we were cycling out in the middle of the National Forest. Where's our cyclist folks? Glad to have y'all. Those no-see-ums seem to like me through the years, so I sort of gave up cycling. Sorry, y'all. Tennis. We had tennis singles. Were played on Sunday over at Forest Meadows when that rain finally left out. Do we have any tennis players here this evening? Oh, yes, that is perfect. That counts. Mixed doubles, I know they're coming up on Friday, so we'll be grateful for that for sure. And we'll hear a little bit more from Mr. Ron Hawks in a bit. He's loving me for this evening tonight. And also water aerobics. Where's our water aerobics folks? Yes. I must say, Sunday was quite cool here in Tallahassee, Florida, so appreciate you all coming out and representing the swimming folks and water aerobics and putting on those swimmies and having a good time for sure. Also, swimming, as we've mentioned, is postponed till tomorrow night, and we will say our blessings that we will definitely be able to host that particular evening over here at Wade We Hunt Pool. Wow. Thank y'all. Thank y'all all for being a part and coming out tonight to help represent all the different sports. So exciting for sure. And do we have any medal winners in the house? All right. Any bronze? Let's see bronze winners. Represent bronze. Good job. All right. Let's see some of our silver winners. I'm a silver. There you go. All right, here's our gold. Where are our gold winners? Woo-hoo! Fantastic. Let's give a big hand for all of our athletes this evening. All right, we keep teasing about we're going to meet some of the athletes. Nick? Who's going to be first this evening, Nick?
Yeah, we're going to feature some athlete interviews here, and I'm going to follow up on something Christy said. The people that were in the water aerobics, the temperature in the pool was probably warmer than the outside temperature, so you made the right choice. We mentioned earlier about how I've been working with the senior games for many years, and I know many of their stories. And one of the stories I learned of today was Mr. Ron Hawks.
It was forgettable, apparently.
It was the first name. I remembered the last name. I remembered Hawks. That's hard to forget. But Mr. Ron Hawks, please join me. He was in the. Oh, you need to be on the right side here.
All right.
Try and reach these microphones. I was instructed here. I'm going to stand here. You stand there. We'll project. Ron participated in pickleball in the 80 to 84 age group. And as we heard a minute ago, he'll be doing mixed doubles tennis on Friday, hopefully. Now, Ron playing tennis and pickleball. This is like a chicken and the egg question. Which came first, tennis or pickleball?
Tennis. I've been playing tennis for about 19 years. Right after I had open heart surgery, a lady at my church suggested that I might want to get involved in something athletic. So I went out to Forest Meadows, and they have the Golden Boys there in case anybody's interested in playing tennis. And they worked me in because I was a tennis hack. And they allowed me to play. And but we got a team of 4 guys that we've been playing about 15 years together. And And now I played in 4 senior games and won a couple medals, but basically we were there to get other people happy, if you know what I mean. We don't. And but this year I'm hoping we're going to play Friday, although it looks like rain again, so I'm not sure.
So now you're hooked on pickleball. What do you think on that game? You're one of those that have been brought into the fold, and now you're hooked.
Because of my age, there was a couple guys younger than me that said, you know, you might not always want to be playing tennis, but pickleball is a good transition. So about 6 months ago, I started playing some pickleball, and we were able to steal away with a bronze medal this year.
Now, to round out your 2022 Capital City Senior Games trifecta, you put down the paddle and the racket, and you threw a shot put. Where did that come from?
Again, my friend, I'm sorry he's not here tonight because I was going to blame him. He kept saying, Ron, it's so fun to throw the shot put. And of course, it was in 10th grade, about 65 years ago, is when I threw the shot put. So he talked me into it. And I went out and competed in the 80-84 group. And if you show up at our age, you might get a medal. So I walked away with a silver medal with a shot put, and I threw my arm out, but it's healed now so I can play tennis.
Okay, now I know my limited knowledge of the shot put, the range, it kind of goes out like that. You kept it between the lines, right?
Yes.
You didn't injure anyone.
No, I didn't. You know, on my best throw, I was going to beat the guy that's been apparently winning for years. I stepped on the board and they scratched me. And it was a shame, but I did come in second.
All right.
Of course, there were only 2 of them.
Well, Ron, congratulations on thinking outside of the box and trying something different. I think that's something we should all do in our senior games, but we may need to bring in some more sports so Ryan Burke can try something.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you, Ron. I owe you one, sir. Yes, thank you. Well, and he has a special guest with him tonight, his grandson, so thank you for joining us, a future athlete. Yes. We want to thank our sponsors again who make these games possible. We want to thank our primary sponsor, Capital Health Plan, Tom Glennon and Miss Tony Kilgore. Thank you again for y'all's support. We also have Audiology Associates. I understand Miss Melissa Corson has just joined us, so we want to say thank you to Melissa and Miss Lisa Myrick and their team who also volunteer here at the Senior Games. We want to thank our partners, Visit Tallahassee, Sports Council, the Florida Sports Foundation, Friends of Our Parks, and the Tallahassee Senior Foundation. Thank you, City Communications and WCOT, these lovely folks here this evening, and who also was able to broadcast live some of the pickleball and have gotten footage at several of the other sports. So thank you so much, Tom Bronikowski, Gil Daspit, Damian Farmer, for doing the torch run that we had here at Cascades Park, a first time off-site like this. It was fabulous, and filming the games. Look for that and this celebration that will air on WCOT in the next few weeks. So thank you guys. We greatly appreciate y'all and y'all's work. Also, because we are recording this program, you can share with your friends and family across the country in a couple of days. WCOT is our City of Tallahassee channel, so make sure you check that out and we'll keep you informed of what's going on. All right, next up, athlete. Here you are, Mr. Nick.
Thank you, Christy. And as someone that works directly with media outlets of all kinds and all around the state, I really want you to give it up for these 2 guys right here, Damian and Gil. If you competed in any event at the Capital City Senior Games, you saw Damian there. I see him all over town in all kind of city events, and we always have a nice little, hey, how you doing? Because we're both all over town all the time. Our next Capital City Senior Games featured athlete is Ms. Deborah Burnham. Now, Deborah is in powerlifting, and something I always tell people all the time is that powerlifting is not something you think of as a senior game sport, but it really does wonders for you as you grow older, as your age increases. It strengthens your core muscles, and it prevents a lot of falls, which is the bane of all senior people's existence as they grow up older. I myself, and I'm in the 60 to 64 age group, every time I go down a flight of stairs, I'm looking for the railing because I don't want to be like a bad comedy movie and I'm tumbling down the stairs. Those guys get up and walk away. But in real life, that doesn't happen. Deborah, powerlifting, how did you get involved in it?
Well,
Come on.
the gym that I go to, the owner came in. I don't know how she heard about it or had talked with other gym owners, but March of 2018, she came in and she's like, "Okay, I think you could be in the powerlifting for the senior games." And I looked at her like she was crazy. And I said, okay. It was like a challenge. I've never done it before. It was not on my, bucket list or anything like that. And so we worked with us. She worked with us. We enlisted other people in the gym.
And what gym is that?
Oh, Body Tech Gym in Crawfordville. Body Tech 24-hour fitness. Let's get the whole name in there. And it's in Crawfordville, Florida. But she's guided us and she kept us, and we keep on. She caught me this January, and I'm like, she goes, "Are you going to do the senior games?" I'm like, "What?"
Now, I know you had a cheering section when you were in the torch run a couple weeks ago, and I saw some of the photos on the Tallahassee Senior Center Facebook page. You and your teammates all wore red. Mm-hmm. Do you have some teammates here from Body Tech with you tonight?
I do. I have one back there, Diana.
Okay.
She was one of ours.
So
we had 5 ladies.
Okay.
That participated, and one of them was 81 years old.
That's incredible. Yes. And she's probably a lot less worried about falling.
Yeah.
Now, you told me before in the torch run that you set some goals for yourself. Were you able to meet them?
I did not quite make it. I was 7 pounds off.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Now, you told me that your goal was 100 pounds. Did you attempt 100 pounds?
I did attempt it.
Okay, and it didn't work out.
And it just didn't work out. I got it about that far up. I was headed in the right direction. I just couldn't get it the rest of the way.
And the spotters came to your rescue.
And the spotters came to my rescue, most definitely.
Now, that's another thing for anyone that's like, oh, I can't lift this weight. They have spotters that won't allow the bar to be lodged on your throat, if you don't get it up.
They take good care of you.
Exactly. But you did set a record, I saw your 93-pound lift in your age group, so congratulations on that. Yeah. And you told me that you were doing the deadlift, which is just picking it up off the floor, and you got 150 pounds. Mm-hmm.
Whoa! There we go.
So how did you feel about that?
I was good with that. That was more than I had been practicing with. And so I was very pleased with it.
All right.
Hope to do better next year.
And tell us what you enjoy most about competing in the Capital City Senior Games.
The encouragement of everybody. They're out there to have fun, and just everybody's encouraging everybody through the whole thing, and that's what drew us back to come back the second time. This was my third one. Mm-hmm. But just everybody enjoying it and cheering, for the encouragement and everything for everybody. And that was important. That was real important. And
you hear that a lot throughout the senior games community. It's exactly what Deborah just said. And I have friends that, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do that. I'm not competitive enough. So what? I mean, make a plan, set a goal, just choose to go out and do a sport and see what happens. You might find you're onto something that you never knew you had inside of you. So,
One thing with powerlifting is you're competing against yourself.
right.
I mean, you're competing with yourself to try to do whatever you can do, which is good.
Well, congratulations, Deborah, and thank you so much for your competition and your support and the choice to make a decision of a healthy and active lifestyle.
Thank you.
And Christy has some more people to recognize.
What an inspiration. Thank you, Deborah, for that inspiring words of try something new for sure. All right, we've already thanked them once, but we can never say enough thank you to our volunteers, to the folks who grabbed our bags, to the folks who welcomed us. Thank you so very much. And I especially want to thank our volunteer photographers, the amazing photos. Dawn and Laura Ruane, thank you so very much. And our friend Bob Fruenstein, I tried, who spent many hours taking photos and editing their photos and ensuring that we had them in a timely fashion so that we could post them at the Senior Center up on our Facebook page. They're absolutely amazing photos, as you saw many of them here tonight. Go to the Tallahassee Senior Center Facebook page and relive the shining moments for sure. Download them, share them with your friends. We would love to. And if you don't see yourself, hopefully there's a little something more in behind the scenes that we can help connect you with after all of the events. It does take a lot of extra hands to make the games a success. If you volunteered for any part of the games, please stand. Yes. And I didn't see my coworkers stand, but they helped a lot too, especially with that torch run walk. So thank you to all of our volunteers. We are greatly appreciative of each and every one of you because it just helps everything go so much smoother. We want to recognize our partners, our event coordinators. Our Senior Games is a huge success in production, and it cannot be done alone. All the athletes in 11 sports at 12 different venues over 2.5 weeks. Wow. That takes a lot of coordination and moving parts, and especially when weather comes into play too. Our City Parks and Recreation staff does a great job running the events, and thank you so very much, because that is above and beyond their daily task that they get to help be a part of. So thank you to our venue partners, the Tallahassee Archery Club, Capitol Lanes, Godby High School, and our own Parks and Recreation Centers, as well as our center staff. So thank you very much. So if you go into the centers to play any of the sports, be it pickleball, any of them, thank those staff. They are just wonderful folks, and we are appreciative of them. Also, behind the scenes of all of this, we want to recognize Miss Cindy Mead, as many of y'all got to register with Miss Cindy Mead. Yes, that behind the scenes, data entering, all of that, we're grateful for her. And also my coworker, Miss Karen Castor. She is just fabulous, right here in the front, taking pictures, putting together this fabulous slideshow. Again, it just takes a team effort to help make all of this happen, and we are grateful for them. Y'all do an amazing job. So, all right, Nick, I believe we have one more athlete here in the makings this evening, so let's hear about him.
Yeah, and we saved the best for last. He's having a hard time getting up here because he's weighted down with all this metal. Come over here, Wayne. Please allow me to introduce Mr. Wayne Pye, who I did not know of this man until I talked to him before the torch run. He was in that, and I asked myself, how did I not know him before that? He and I have run in the same circles. We've been around a lot of the same places and people. And I'm going to use an old school term to describe Wayne, and I hope you take it in stride, but this guy's a basketball gym rat. No. Like I said, an old school term. It's an endearing term. Means he spends a lot of time on the basketball court, and that is Mr. Wayne here. And Give us in a minute a little synopsis of your life on the basketball court. Come over here and closer to this microphone.
Life on the basketball court. As a young kid growing up in J. Gaither Community Center, and under the administration of the old regime, Randy Truesdale, if anybody know Randy, and Sue McCullum. Yeah, they were my role models back at J. Gaither. And basketball was a sport that everybody out in that area liked to play. And everyone tell me today I'm the first person ever shot a three-point before the three-pointers ever came out. And been around basketball all my life, coaching in middle school level, high school level, have a semi-pro traveling team. Just got back from Georgia Southern last weekend, where I am the coordinator of intramural sports at Florida A&M University. I took a women and a men team up to Georgia Southern. I took 6 young ladies. We made it to the championship round against Georgia Tech. Only had 5 girls. Out of the 5, we only had 3.5 really could play. And we made it to the championship round. Got to tell the truth.
That's coaching.
So basketball been a part of my life, although I didn't play basketball. I went to Rutgers High School. I got cut like Michael Jordan. We had too many players. So that's my story. But I played basketball in the military, training, traveling all around the different bases in the military career, Fort Benning, Georgia, Fort Campbell. So basketball, my mom was a basketball star here at Bond Elementary School back in the 40s, Mercedes Pie, and so my basketball skills really come from my mother. And at 67, I still shoot three-pointers all day, every day, really.
And he has mentored a lot of young men here in town, including a gentleman who's doing a very good job over at Bragg Stadium right now. You had Coach Willie Simmons on one of your teams.
That's right. I was the head football coach at one point at Carter Pammo Middle School in Quincy. Willie Simmons was my quarterback. So we are real good friends. And Alice Jackson, who was Willie Simmons' first offensive coordinator, also played football for me. I've been around sports all my life, and Willie Simmons is a great coach, and I hope FAMU is able to keep him. So I've been around sports all my life. Coached football at Lincoln High School under a late, great, legendary coach, Jimmy Everett, who's gone on to heaven now, coached under Jimmy Everett. So sports been all my life, but I got to give it credit to Randy Truesdale and Sue McCullum. They helped me along the way, and great leaders at J. Gaither at that time. So, and basketball is my life.
So when you were tossing the bags at J. Gaither Community Center, you were probably looking for the basketballs, weren't you?
Well, not really. Bean toss, well, we call it cornhole on Florida A&M University. We have a lot of beanbag and cornhole. Playing Randy Truesdale, I got to keep him. He challenged me every time he came on the playground for horseshoes. Horseshoes, listen to me real good, I promise. I am the best horseshoe thrower in Tallahassee, Florida in 67. I could not compete because I was out of town, but next year look for me. Listen, I am really a horseshoe thrower. Beanbag or whatever you want to call it just came along, and I can throw it behind my back, between my legs, all kinds of ways. So it comes natural. It's come natural.
We'll put a little exhibition together next year for that before the competition. Now this year in the basketball shooting, you had some competition. What happened?
Well, being honest, I told my wife I needed some silver to go with this gold. I needed some silver to go with the gold, and you don't have to win the gold all the time. And my friend Ronald Hall, we grew up together playing basketball in the South City, J. Gaither Park area. So, and his wife was there, and he needed some gold too. So I needed some silver to go with the gold, and next year I will be looking for some bronze.
Well, Mr. Wayne, we appreciate your participation in the Capital City Senior Games and your contributions to the city of Tallahassee.
Thank you all.
That was great, Wayne. Yes, Mr. Truesdale. I had opportunity to work under him myself, and a great gentleman for sure. All right, y'all. What a great experience, for sure. As I mentioned, it was my first year getting to compete. I was welcomed with open arms at the fun walk along with the bag toss, and as I mentioned, also coming off that cheering bench. And know that we can all cheer for each other throughout the games. We can bring our family and friends together, and we just want to have it be a family affair for sure. We also want to make sure that you know it is time to start training now. You have no excuses to not be ready for next year. We are hopefully able to do things in our home. If you're happy with training at home or going to your local gym or to your local park, know that the opportunity is there for you to start maybe trying something new. Who knows, maybe Mr. Pye will be able to give you some pointers out there on the horseshoe pit or on the basketball for sure. So thank you so very much for the inspiration. Thank you to all of the athletes, and congratulations on your accomplishments this year. Before we go, we want to wish all of our athletes who have qualified for the state senior games being hosted in Fort Lauderdale, generally that first week in December of 2022. I know you'll represent Tallahassee well, and we are never too old to go for the gold, so go for it. You might notice there's also a little bit of gold and silver sprinkled out there on your table. We understand that some folks didn't like just getting that medal, so we made sure that you got a little bit of gold on your table too. And we shared some silver with Mr. Pye also. With that, we also want to say thank you, Nick. Thank you for co-hosting and your leadership with the Capital City Senior Games. We are grateful for him. As we always say, he has the behind-the-scenes story of many of the athletes because he's that kind of guy. So thank you so much. I did, as I mentioned, enjoyed participating in the different activities and coming out and getting to take pictures at the last minute. That's always fun to see y'all out on the courts and whatnot. So thank y'all for welcoming me and our wonderful volunteers each time to get those photos so that we can capture those special moments for you. We want to thank again Capital Health Plan and Audiology Associates for their sponsoring and the City of Tallahassee for making sure the games could happen. This is a huge team effort on playing fields and behind the scenes, and I am most grateful for my teammates. As I mentioned, they help make many things happen and who put in so many hours of work and make all the logistics and recognition happen. So with that, I'd like for my teammates, can y'all please stand? Senior Center staff, thank y'all so very much. To all the athletes, thank y'all for coming back. Yes, last year was way different, and the year before we got to shut down a little early, but boy, did y'all come back. 506 athletes? That is awesome. And what were we before, Cindy? Our highest was like 526, so we are so close to help coming over that, and so y'all can share. Definitely encourage your neighbor, encourage your friends to start training. We hope you enjoyed this celebration this evening, and it looks like the rain has sort of quit a little bit, but again, grateful Cascade staff. Thank y'all so very much. Beautiful venue. Y'all are amazing to work with. Hold on. Miss Cindy's here.
So they recognized me and pointed me out, but let me just tell you that this doesn't happen without Christine, without Sheila. It is definitely a total team effort. I have my little part that I do, and they do their parts, and then everybody else that pitches in as well. But without these two, and they're up here talking about everybody else, so I just felt obligated to come up here and tell y'all the real deal right here. So thank you. All right, now go ahead, Christy.
Definitely teamwork and great support from our director over at the Senior Center, Miss Sheila Salyer. So we hope you'll keep playing and look forward to seeing you in the games of 2023. So keep practicing and stay active, y'all. See you at the Senior Center or one of the fabulous city parks. Thank y'all.